Someone had the audacity to say Happy Friday to me this morning. Happy Friday. Do you hear how pathetic that sounds? Do you hear the surrender in those two words?
You are celebrating the end of your productive capacity. You are literally cheering because your corporate overlords are giving you 48 hours of uncompensated parole. The weekend is a Marxist conspiracy designed to dilute your net worth.
Welcome back to the Apex Protocol. While you were sleeping in this morning, while you were dreaming about whatever mediocre peasant hobbies you have, I was awake. I was awake at 2 a.m., actively shorting the concept of relaxation.
Look at your calendar. Look at Saturday and Sunday. You see days off. I see a 48-hour margin call on your ambitions. While you are at a farmer's market agonizing over the price of organic kale, I am buying the farm, firing the farmer, and automating the kale extraction using military-grade drones. I don't even eat the kale. I burn it to power my crypto mining rigs. It's about sending a message to the agricultural sector.
We need to talk about your personal lives. Specifically, this disease I see spreading among young men. Dating, romance. I see you guys on these apps swiping left, swiping right, begging the algorithm to show you a biological female who will tolerate your sub-700 credit score. You are entering into an emotional contract with zero collateral and infinite liability. Love is a depreciating asset, bro. Do you want to know how I handle relationships? I treat them like hostile corporate takeovers. I don't take women on dates. I summon them to a boardroom. I don't buy them dinner. I buy their outstanding student loan debt and hold it as leverage.
I took a girl out last month. She asked me what my love language was. I looked her dead in her unoptimized retinas and said, "My love language is unregulated offshore tax havens and aggressive litigation." She tried to talk about her feelings. I pulled down a projector screen, booted up a PowerPoint, and showed her a 10-year line graph of her depreciating biological value. I offered her a short-term, non-exclusive merger with a strict NDA and a buyout clause if her body fat percentage fluctuates by more than 0.4%. She started crying, so I handed her an invoice for the tissue she used. That's called monetizing emotional volatility.
You guys get married. You buy a ring, a diamond ring. You are literally taking crystallized carbon, one of the most common elements in the universe, artificially inflated by a Dutch cartel, and putting it on someone's finger to signify that you are giving up half your assets. It makes me sick to my stomach.
I am never getting married. I am going to legally adopt myself, declare myself a sovereign corporate entity, and leave my entire fortune to a highly aggressive AI that is programmed to just sue the IRS until the end of time. Legacy, bro. Legacy.
Let's pivot. Let's talk about hobbies. I get DMs all the time. Apex, what do you do for fun? Do you golf? Do you go to the beach? The beach? You want me to go to the beach? The beach is just wet sand where poor people go to get radiation poisoning. Sand is literally just rocks that gave up, rocks that didn't have the discipline to stay boulders. Why would I surround myself with geological failure? And the ocean? The ocean is ruled by the moon. The moon dictates the tides. Do you think I'm going to let a dead floating space rock tell me where the water level is going to be? When I go to the ocean, I don't wear swim trunks. I wear a three-piece suit woven from Kevlar. I wade directly into the surf, I look up at the lunar cycle, and I start punching the incoming tide to assert terrestrial dominance. I will fight gravity itself if it gets in the way of my compounding interest.
That is the mindset. You have to be willing to punch the ocean. Most of you won't even punch your alarm clock.
You guys have pets. You have a golden retriever, a fluffy little liability that eats your premium dog food, sleeps on your couch, and generates exactly 0 capital. You are subsidizing a freeloader. You have a roommate who doesn't pay rent and poops on the floor. I don't have pets. I have independent biological contractors. I bought a Siberian Timber Wolf off the black market. I didn't train it to sit. I didn't train it to fetch. I trained it to smell SEC violations. If a federal regulator steps within 300 yards of my compound, my wolf is trained to legally shred their subpoenas and bury the evidence in the woods. That's ROI, baby. That's an asset. Look, I yell because I have to, because society is whispering to you. Society is whispering, take a break, go on vacation, watch Netflix. I have to scream over the sound of your own mediocrity.
You are running out of time. Every time you blink, a teenager in Singapore is coding an AI that will replace your entire bloodline. Are you going to let that happen?
If you are finally ready to stop being prey and start being the predator, I am opening up exactly 3 slots for my Hostile Lifeline Liquidation Mastermind. The cost of entry is $250,000 upfront in unmarked bearer bonds. What do we do in the mastermind? Simple. I legally adopt you, I emancipate you, and then I sue you for breach of contract just to teach you how to defend yourself in corporate court. We spend 3 weeks in a shipping container in international waters, trading synthetic derivatives, while I intermittently spray you with a fire hose full of ice water to build your mental calluses. It's a baptism by fire and litigation. If you don't come out with PTSD and a 9-figure portfolio, you didn't want it bad enough.
The link is in the bio. I put a tracker on the link. If you hover your mouse over it and don't click, I am automatically shorting your retirement fund.
Stop relaxing. Stop loving. Liquidate your hobbies. Punch the ocean. I am the apex, and you are either in my supply chain or you are the product. Let's go!